Well, hey there, David. It's your customer, Jeremiah from Pittsburgh, wearing eyewear that I'm sure you recognize because your company makes them. Wearing those CustomFocuss, Air to Super Focus. I thought a video, private video, might be a little bit better in explaining my first experiences and some concerns. Even before they came out, and as you probably know from the web, a big issue is your decision to go with separate focusing mechanisms for each lens rather than something similar to the Super Focus where you just had a switch and both the lenses changed. That is an issue and could be a deal breaker, even for me in some ways. Having said that, your click mechanism is going to be absolutely key and central to this working. And I can say that especially since this right side isn't quite working right. And I'll do that. First, like here I am, I'm at intermediate. They're not synced because this one doesn't click totally. But this wheel has some give in this place. It's moving right now without clicking or changing focus. This one does not do that. This is my left. So I don't know if I'm mirrored here or what. But even then, I go on my good side, I go down, there's a click. And now I'm totally at the bottom. There's no give. Go up, there's that middle one, no give. Go up, there's a top one. It can still click up a little bit without changing focus. And I don't think you can have that. It's really got to be pretty firm. Like if I'm at the top and do that, it doesn't do it. Back to intermediate. This side, the right side, which is not working, I'm all the way down at the bottom. There's intermediate, but it rocks. And then up. There's a little teeny click right there, and then up more. But so that is going to be absolutely key, I think, probably to your user experience with these. Today was my first real day using them. And I think I told you that I'm kind of a non-traditional student again, kind of Rodney Dangerfield-like, back to school, joining the frats and all that. But looking up at a board, looking down at the book, you know, you got to use both hands and you got to use two fingers. One big thing is going to be the stiffness of that wheel and the clicks, obviously, because those clicks you need. Having used the adjustables, the sundials, the John Lennon's both set, and I have a pair with the knobs still on, turning them. If people are going to do that fine-tuning thing, you're going to have big problems. And that's going to happen anyway. And this happened with Super Focus. And this happened this weekend with me. You know, I got the glasses Saturday. Today's Monday. And I didn't really do much of anything this weekend except kind of sit here and read and so on. If those don't go right into place and go easily, then I'm sorry, back up a little bit. I'm going to say that when anyone gets adjustable focus glasses for the first couple days, maybe, they are going to obsessively attempt to get everything perfectly in focus. After a few days, you adjust. And I think I even have a video about that regarding the Super Focus, where I was going to get rid of them because adjusting was such a pain. And then, you know, I found that sweet spot where I just went, wah, and there I was at home. Now, I've adjusted pretty quickly to these, I think, when I come home, in terms of not getting that obsessive. But I would definitely say you have to tell your salespeople and so on that that's going to be a real norm. All right, here I am adjusting. That's going to be a real normal experience for customers. They're going to obsess and then they get used to it. Having to use two hands, though, is going to make that maybe a little more difficult. Certainly the clicks help it, and those clicks have to work really well without any additional rocking. Because when even my left side, which is good, and I go up to the distance, and it goes up further without doing anything, you know, that's not cool. They do stop in between, but I'm going to guess most people aren't going to need that too much. The 3 would probably be pretty good, a little fine adjustment, but they're going to obsess over that. I can almost promise you that, because I did with the SuperFocus and I even have with these. Optic-wise, honestly, they are not edge-to-edge as were the SuperFocus. It does warp and blur when you get near the frame. Like right now, I have a screen over here, and as I go like this, that's blurry. Though that's compensated for because it is a pretty big field of vision. So that's pretty rare. I mean, I think I mentioned to you about drinking coffee and still reading the screen. Yeah, that works and doesn't work with the progressives. What else? Optic-wise, yeah, well, you know, it's a new prescription for me, first of all, so it's beautiful. You know, though they seem to dull things a little bit. I don't know if this is because the lenses are a little bit out of sync with the right thing not quite working. You know, your behavior is going to be going for those clicks, and it's good that it's kind of audible and tactile, but you can't have movement beyond it. Like, you see me going from the top click up and no change of focus. Back to intermediate to look at the screen. That's your key thing. That's definitely your key thing. Other than that, comfortable. I'm using these little wipes, you know, to clean them. So I hope that's going to be okay on the finish and so on. I know that they, from the John Lennons in particular, you can't really have the running water over them. That could also be an issue for some people, because SuperFocus you could. That's how I did it. I ran water over them, used a microfiber cloth to clean them and so on. All 4 lenses. I got complimented on the frames, even though I don't think these are the coolest. These are the wrong ones. I think those matte frames look a lot better. But and in school, I'm the oldster by quite a stretch. So if the kids are saying they look good, that's probably good. I was also finally able, pretty much almost for the first time this year, able to read with my glasses on rather than taking them off. Which was real nice, even though I definitely think the right lens is wonky and off-kilter, you know, with that dial. That dial doesn't work, and it's really got to loosen. Even though it was tight when I got it, it's probably got to loosen up more or something. And with your second generation, whatever. Normally, I'd have to say that this double lens thing would be a deal breaker. There are situations, especially at work, I would not be able to use these. It would just be too much. I work at the thing that kind of saves it here is I work with pathogens now. I'm back in school doing other things. Even with the SuperFocus, I'm in contaminated areas. I shouldn't even be touching up here. I have ordered a very pair of cheap progressives to use at work, and probably in parts of school where we're dealing with microorganisms, because you just can't be touching all the time. But at home, already, like this weekend, I was freaking out with one monitor and the other, which I also did, I think, with the SuperFocus. And already today, 3 days, you know, I kind of came in and everything was cool. Driving was very wonderful, and in fact it's dark out now and I was just in the car, and after having the John Lennons that I guess have no glare reduction, you know, this was really great, and the intermediate and so on. So the new script, everything else, I can see clearly. They do seem to dull a little bit, almost as if they have a tint. Like if I lift up, um, it's a little brighter. So there's that. And also, I have found myself, I don't know what I'll do, but lifting up to see things close only because it takes both my hands to change the focus. In school today, looking up and looking down, I did try things. I'm going to tell you right off the bat, my left lens is going to get a workout because I'm writing and I'm going up and down and up and down. And I really don't like that disparate thing. But it kind of worked. And then when it's really a lecture, up. And then when I'm really just notes, down. But keep that in mind. And definitely the adjustment period and people getting used to it. Because one thing I did notice in a lab situation today where I'm focused just on the desk, it's the first time this year, for the most part, I've been able to read and see things properly. I am able to read without glasses, but my left eye doesn't focus. So it's still a problem. I need correction. And it was very nice today. It's the first time this year I didn't take off my glasses for close-up work, even though it's hard to sync with this right lens, which is pretty wonky. But, all right, there you go. That should give you a good review. 3 days. I know to wait. New script. I know these aren't working quite right, and we'll check on the other ones. But, again, if these don't work really, really well with those clicks, that's a deal breaker having to use that. I think I even had a video I was going to return the super focus because of the hassle. That switch on top was so stiff that it took both hands. I had to hold the glasses and move it. When it went boop, 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 that worked. That was cool. I already found myself getting up from the lab bench and going whoop. That was cool to go get stuff on whoop, to go back to work. The clicks are real important for that. The wheels got to be easy, and I hope that's a good feedback for you, man. You know, keep going. Otherwise, yeah, I don't know, $700, it's a lot of money, but my neck, I do not like this. That's an advantage. All right, man. Good luck to you, and tell me what's up and when the regular ones are coming.